You're at the store buying bread. It's your birthday. No one knows. And you prefer it that way, not because you're humble, but because the last time you celebrated, no one came. Or they came and spent the whole time on their phones. Or they pretended to be happy but talked about you later. Today you say you don't care about these things, but the truth is, you erased expectations so you wouldn't erase yourself completely. Because disappointment became such a familiar pattern that hurting less became strategy. And the worst part, you think this is maturity. It's not. It's emotional surrender disguised as indifference. You gave up on wanting, because wanting always ended in abandonment. And now you live pretending you don't need anything, but die a little every time no one notices. Your mind calls this self-preservation. Psychology calls it identity wound. You call it, I'm not one of those people who makes drama. But Carl Jung would call it what it really is. You buried alive the part of yourself that still believes you deserve to exist with joy. You know what's worse than being forgotten? It's you forgetting yourself. It's treating your own life as something disposable, ordinary, irrelevant. It's learning that celebrating who you are was always dangerous, so you stopped. But God didn't forget. And what you call indifference, He calls a silent scream, because ignoring your own birthday isn't strength. It's the most brutal way of telling the world, I don't matter, desperately hoping someone will prove you wrong. Let's name what's happening to you. This has a name in psychology, shadow of the wounded identity. Carl Jung discovered that when a child learns their joy isn't welcome, they bury that part of themselves, not by choice, by survival. And that buried part becomes the shadow, the rejected side of your personality that keeps screaming for recognition. How old were you the first time your birthday was ignored? 7, 10, 12. You expected something, a hug, a cake, a call, and nothing came. Or it came, but with indifference, rush, obligation. That day, you didn't lose a party. You lost the certainty that your existence mattered. The child's mind doesn't understand rejection with nuance. It simplifies. If no one celebrates that I was born, maybe I shouldn't have been born. And there, without realizing it, you started building an identity based on invisibility. If I don't ask for anything, I won't disappoint anyone. If I don't expect anything, I won't get hurt. But the problem is, you didn't stop wanting. You just stopped believing you deserved it. Jung called this repression of individuation. Individuation is the process of becoming who you really are, without masks. But when celebrating who you are becomes dangerous, you stop individuating. You stop existing as yourself, and you start existing as what others tolerate. Your ignored birthday became the symbol of this. The day you should be the center but learned to disappear. And the worst part, you turned this into virtue. I'm not dramatic. I don't need validation. I don't care about superficial things. But the truth is you care, deeply. You just learned to lie to yourself because the truth hurts too much. You know what's the cruelest part of this wound? It's not what others did. It's what you do to yourself now. You punish yourself for wanting. You shame yourself for needing. And you treat your own need to be seen as weakness, childishness, neediness. But Jung would say, this isn't neediness, it's soul thirst. The part of you that was rejected didn't die. It's in the shadow, waiting to be integrated. And every birthday you ignore is another time you tell that part, you don't deserve to exist. But it does. And God knows it. You're not cold, indifferent, or too mature to celebrate. You're someone who learned that joy comes with a high price. And the price was always loneliness, disappointment, or humiliation. So your mind created armor. I don't need this. But armor doesn't protect. It imprisons. And you're trapped inside your own defense. The good news, you're not crazy. You're not exaggerating. You're not too sensitive. You're someone whose identity was attacked at the most vulnerable moment, childhood. And all you did was try to survive. But surviving isn't the same as living. And that's exactly why God allows this pain to return. Not to break you more, but to show you what you buried. Because the part of you that doesn't believe it deserves to be celebrated, that's the part He wants to resurrect. That's the part that still carries His breath, and He won't let it die in the shadow. You got here because something inside you recognized this pain. And maybe, for the first time, you didn't feel crazy for feeling what you feel. There's a place where your wounds aren't judged. They're understood. Where your pain isn't drama. It's a portal. Here at Soul Logic, every video is a conversation with the part of you no one sees. The part that carries traumas disguised as overcoming. The part that cries in silence because it learned that crying out loud was dangerous. We speak directly to that part and show what God is doing with it. If you're tired of empty motivation and want to understand the real why behind your pain, if you seek healing that goes beyond pretty phrases, if you want to know what God is trying to teach you through what you suffer, then click the button right now and subscribe, because you didn't get here by accident. You came because your soul recognized there's purpose in what you live, and every video you watch is one more step out of the shadow. Subscribe, and let God speak directly to the part of you He never forgot. Now comes the part that hurts more, because the problem isn't just that others forgot you. The problem is you created an illusion to justify it, and that illusion became your identity. You convinced yourself that not caring is strength, but strength isn't absence of desire. It's courage to desire despite the pain. You say, I don't need a party, I'm not a child. But what you really mean is, I'm afraid to need and have no one show up. You call this maturity. Psychology calls it emotional avoidance. You didn't overcome the pain of being forgotten. You just stopped putting yourself in situations where you could be forgotten again. And here's the most dangerous illusion of all. You believe that if you expect nothing, you won't suffer. But the truth is you suffer anyway. Only now the suffering is silent, chronic, invisible. You traded the sharp pain of rejection for the slow pain of self-erasure, and convinced yourself this was wisdom. There's more. You look at people who celebrate birthdays and think, how immature, how needy. You judge in them what you killed in yourself, because recognizing they have courage to desire would be recognizing you gave up. And giving up hurts less when you call it evolving. But evolving isn't giving up on being human. It's integrating humanity with consciousness. The illusion works like this. You transform absence into virtue. I don't need becomes I'm strong. I don't care becomes I'm mature. I expect nothing becomes I'm realistic. But underneath each of these phrases is a child begging, please, see me. And you know what's worse? You started attracting people who also don't celebrate you, because you taught the world to treat you as optional. Friends who forget, partners who ignore, family who doesn't ask. And when this happens, you're not surprised, you're relieved, because it confirms what you already believed. I don't matter anyway. And this confirmation, as painful as it is comfortable, because it's familiar. But here's the truth no one told you. You're not humble for not celebrating your birthday. You're afraid that if you celebrate, no one will come. Afraid that if you ask for attention, they'll call you needy. Afraid your joy will be rejected again. So you reject your own joy before someone does it for you. And this isn't protection, it's betrayal. You're betraying the child who once believed they deserved cake, candles, hugs. You're betraying the part of you God created to be seen, celebrated, loved. Every birthday you ignore is a lie you tell yourself. The lie that you don't need anything, when the truth is, you need everything. Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. You think not celebrating is choice, but it's fear disguised as choice. It's trauma disguised as personality. And until you face this, you'll keep living as if your existence were a burden, not a gift. The illusion is this. You think you're protecting yourself, but you're killing yourself slowly. You're killing the part of you that still believes you deserve joy. And worse, you're calling this death spiritual growth. But God didn't ask you to die emotionally. He asked you to be reborn. Now God enters, not with judgment, but with the truth you need to hear. He saw every birthday you pretended didn't matter. He heard every I'm fine that hid in I'm broken. And he never, not for a second, believed your illusion. Isaiah 43:1 says, do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name. You are mine. Did you read that? God calls you by your name, not by the role you play, not by the mask you wear. He calls you by your name, the identity you buried because the world rejected it. You learned that celebrating who you are was dangerous, but God never asked you to disappear. He asked you to belong to Him, not to the world. The world taught you your existence was conditional. If you please, you're worthy. If not, disappear. But God says, you are mine. No condition, no performance, no need to prove anything. Your existence is non-negotiable to Him. You know why God allows this pain to return. Because He doesn't want you living with a false identity. He wants to destroy the illusion that you don't need anything. Because the truth is, You do need, and that's human, not weakness. You need to be seen, chosen, celebrated, and God created you with these needs because He planned to fill them. But you blocked Him too, not just people. You blocked God from celebrating you because you learned celebration ends in pain. So when He tries to show you that you matter, you deflect. When He sends someone to honor you, you minimize it. When He whispers, "You are mine," you respond, "But I don't deserve it." But listen to this carefully. God didn't redeem you because you deserved it. He redeemed you because He loves you, and His love doesn't depend on your performance, your perfection, or your acceptance. He called you by name before you were born. He celebrated your existence before the world rejected you, and He continues celebrating, even when you refuse to celebrate. Psalm 139:16 says, "Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book." Do you think God wrote your life for you to live as invisible? He wrote every day, including the day of your birth, and when He wrote it, He didn't say, "This one doesn't matter." He said, "This one is mine, and I will fight for them until they believe it." You know what the purpose of all this pain is? It's not to break you more. It's to wake you up. God is using the emptiness of the ignored birthday to show you where you lost yourself. He's showing you the part of you that died, and not because He wants you to suffer, but because He wants to resurrect it. He wants you to stop pretending you don't need anything and start believing you deserve everything He already prepared. And here's the turn. What you called rejection, God calls redirection. He didn't let people forget you to hurt you. He allowed it to free you from the need for human approval. Because as long as you seek validation from the world, you'll never find rest. But when you accept that God called you by name, you stop begging to be seen around because you already are. Jeremiah 31:3 says, "I have loved you with an everlasting love, therefore I have continued my faithfulness to you." God isn't punishing you, He's drawing you. Every pain, every loneliness, every silent birthday, it's Him saying, "Come home. Come back to who you really are." Because the person you are without mask, without defense, without fear, that's the person He always loved, and He won't stop until you believe it. Pause for a second. If you made it this far, something inside you is awakening. Write in the comments right now, "God called me by name." Let this truth leave your mind and enter the real world. Now comes the practical part. Because understanding the wound isn't enough, you need to heal it. And healing doesn't start with others celebrating you. It starts with you stopping punishing yourself for wanting it. The first action is simple, but brutal. Admit out loud that you want to be celebrated, not to anyone. To yourself, to God. Sit somewhere alone. It can be in your room, in your car, in the bathroom, and say out loud, "I want my birthday to matter. I want to be seen. I want to be celebrated." It will hurt. It will feel childish, needy, ridiculous. But that's exactly why you need to do it. Because the shame of wanting is the prison. When you admit the desire, you pull it out of the shadow. Carl Jung said what you don't bring to light dominates you in the dark. You spent years pretending you don't care, and it dominated you. Now it's time to bring it to light, without shame, without excuse. God already knows you want it. He's waiting for you to admit it too. And after you admit it, do this. Celebrate yourself. Don't wait for anyone to do it for you. Buy a small cake. Light a candle. Thank God for another year. Sounds silly? Good. Do it anyway. Because this isn't a party. It's an act of spiritual resistance. You're telling the world, the shadow, and the devil, my existence matters. And I don't need permission to believe it. It will feel strange at first. It will seem like you're faking it, forcing it, lying to yourself. But you're not. You're undoing years of self-rejection. You're integrating the part of you that was banished. And this doesn't happen beautifully. It happens uncomfortably, raw, real. Here's the truth. No one will give you the validation you don't give yourself first. As long as you treat your life as optional, the world will too. But when you start honoring your own existence, something shifts. Not because people change, but because you stop begging. You stop seeking outside what God already placed inside. And this internal shift is what transforms everything. Psalm 37:4 says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." Did you read, "Delight yourself in the Lord"? It's not suffer in silence. It's not pretend you don't need anything. It's delight. joy, celebration, recognition that God loves you. And when you delight in Him, He fills the desires you buried. So here's the first practical action. On your next birthday, or today one if it's the case, celebrate. It doesn't need to be big. It can be a prayer of gratitude, a song you love, a conscious walk. But do something that says, today I choose to honor that God brought me this far. Because when you do this, you're not just celebrating a day, you're resurrecting the part of you that believes you deserve to live with joy. And there's more. When you celebrate yourself, you teach others to celebrate you too. Not because you forced it, but because you showed your existence is non-negotiable. People treat you the way you treat yourself. If you treat yourself as invisible, they'll ignore you. But if you treat yourself as someone God called by name, the right people will recognize it, and the wrong ones will get out of the way. This action isn't about ego. It's about restored identity. It's about you looking in the mirror and saying, God made you, God loves you, and that's enough. And when you believe that, truly, the world stops having power over you. Because you no longer need anyone to prove you matter. You already know. Now the second action, and this one will dig even deeper, because the first was about celebrating yourself. This one is about forgiving those who didn't celebrate you. And no, it's not about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about understanding that as long as you hold resentment, you remain trapped in their rejection. Forgiveness isn't about freeing them, it's about freeing you. Make a mental list right now. How many people forgot you on your last birthday? How many ignored, pretended not to know, didn't even send a message? Feel the anger rising. Good, feel it, because you won't forgive by denying the pain. You'll forgive by going through it. Here's what you didn't understand about forgiveness. Forgiving doesn't mean saying it's okay. It doesn't mean trusting that person again. It doesn't mean forgetting or minimizing what they did. Forgiving means releasing the emotional control that person has over you. It means saying, you hurt me, but I won't give your abandonment the power to define my worth anymore. It's you taking your peace out of the hands of those who never deserve to hold it. And here's the spiritual turn. When you forgive, you break the cycle. Because holding grudges keeps the wound open, and as long as it's open, you keep bleeding. You keep attracting more rejection, more abandonment, more pain. Why? Because your emotional energy is stuck in the past, and what you don't release holds you. Ephesians 4:31-32 says, get rid of all bitterness. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Look at that phrase. Just as God forgave you for things you don't even remember. He forgave you before you asked, and He didn't wait for you to deserve it. He forgave because love isn't justice, it's mercy. Now He's asking you to do the same, not because those who hurt you deserve it, but because you deserve peace. So here's the practical action. Pray for those who forgot you. Not a fake, forced religious prayer, a real, raw prayer. God, forgive name, and help me release them. I don't want to carry this grudge anymore. It will hurt at first. It will feel unfair. But each time you pray, you're cutting the invisible thread tying you to their rejection. And you know what happens when you release? You realize the pain wasn't about them. It was about you. You realize their abandonment only hurt so much because you already didn't believe you deserved to stay. They only confirmed what you already thought about yourself. But when you forgive, you break that confirmation. You say, I no longer need validation from those who rejected me. God already validated me. And in that moment, you're free. Matthew 6:14 says, for if you forgive other people when they sin against you, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. God links the forgiveness you receive to the forgiveness you give, not because He's cruel, but because He knows holding grudges is poison. It's poison that kills your ability to trust, to love, to receive. And God doesn't want you living poisoned. He wants you living free. And freedom starts with forgiveness. But listen, forgiving doesn't mean going back. You can forgive and still keep distance. You can forgive and still set boundaries. Forgiveness isn't about reconciliation. It's about release. It's you saying, I release you from my expectation, and I release myself from your rejection. And when you do this, something shifts in the spiritual, because you stop feeding the wound and start feeding the healing. So here's the challenge. Today, now, before you sleep, forgive. You don't need to call, text, confront. Just forgive in silence, in prayer, in your heart. And every time the grudge returns, and it will, you forgive again. Because forgiveness isn't a one-time event, it's a daily practice. And each time you practice it, you become a little more free, a little more healed, a little more like who God always saw in you. You woke up on your birthday thinking it was just another day, but now you understand. It wasn't indifference, it was defense. It wasn't coldness, it was survival. And all this time, God was hearing the silent scream you disguised as, "I don't care." He saw the child inside you begging for validation. He saw you burying joy out of fear of being disappointed again. And he never believed the mask. Because he knows you by name, not by the persona you created to protect yourself. Isaiah 43:1 isn't an empty promise. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name. You are mine. You spent years thinking not celebrating was strength, but it was prison. Prison of the shadow Carl Jung described, the rejected part of you that keeps screaming for integration. And every ignored birthday was you telling that part, you don't deserve to exist. But God says the opposite. He says, you deserve everything. Joy, celebration, full life. And now you have the choice. Keep pretending you don't need anything. Or admit, out loud, that you want to be seen, celebrated, loved. It's not weakness. It's courage. Courage to take desire out of shadow and place it in light. When you celebrate yourself, even if it's just you and God, something shifts. Not because the world changed, but because you stopped begging the world to validate you. You stopped giving people the power to define if your existence matters. And you started believing what God always knew. You were woven with purpose, called by name, redeemed with eternal love. Psalm 139:14. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And when you forgive those who didn't celebrate you, you break the cycle. You cut the invisible thread tying you to their rejection. And for the first time, you realize the pain wasn't about them. It was about you not believing you deserved to stay. But now you know, and knowing changes everything. You no longer need anyone to prove you matter, because God already proved it. He brought you this far. He sustained you through every silent birthday, every disappointment, every moment you wanted to give up. And he didn't do this to see you invisible. He did this to see you free. So on your next birthday, or today, if it's today, celebrate. Celebrate small. Celebrate alone. Celebrate with God. But celebrate, because your existence isn't an accident. It's divine design. And what God made, he calls wonderful, even when the world called it ordinary. You were afraid to desire. Now you understand God created you with desires because he planned to fill them. You were ashamed to need. Now you understand needing isn't weakness, it's humanity. And God never asked you to stop being human. He asked you to be human with him, not against him. Jeremiah 31:3 closes everything. I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore I have continued my faithfulness to you. God isn't punishing you with this pain. He's drawing you back to the identity the world broke, drawing you back to the joy you buried, drawing you back to yourself, the real one, without mask, without fear. And when you return, you realize it was never about being celebrated by others. It was about you stopping rejecting yourself. Subscribe to Soul Logic. Here, every story reveals why you suffer and what God is teaching you through it. Psychology to understand yourself, spirituality to understand the why behind it. For you who made it to the end of this video, God saw your persistence. He knows you're seeking real healing, not escape. Write in the comments, I deserve to be celebrated. And he will show you in the coming days that this isn't arrogance. It's truth you've been denying for too long.